Hey friends, I'm Laura Kashner and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you're looking for a quiet place where you can filter out the noise and the hustle, this is it. Every week we invite you to slow down and join us to explore practical ways to organize and automate the complicated parts of life so you can focus on what truly matters most. We are so excited about our new Mother's Day collection and the products we've curated for you, your mama, really any special woman in your life that cares for you. I'm especially excited about our new leatherette tech cases. Mom, if you're listening to this, act surprised when you open your Mother's Day gift. And of course, our beautiful linen journals. Add in our new twist pen set with a journal and you've got the perfect gift. You can find the Mother's Day collection right now over at emilylay.com. In 2019, our family moved to a small town in the northwest corner of Illinois, and it was a big move for us because we really didn't know anyone. We don't have family nearby. It was a great opportunity for my husband's career, so we took it, even though it came at the cost of relationships and routines that were familiar to us. It was kind of hard at first, and to be honest, a little lonely. One day that summer, I went to the pool with our 3 girls and I met another mom there and she also had 3 girls and she said something, we got to talking and into like hour 2 of us talking, she said something that completely changed my world. She said, I'm tired of not having any friends. Do you want to be my friend? Let's go to dinner. And oh my gosh, that was just the start of some amazing friendships that I've had over the past now 4 years. And this wonderful woman had the courage to reach out to someone she didn't really know and was vulnerable enough to say, I'm tired of not having friends. Will you be mine? Do you know how rare that is? Of course you do. Making new friendships that are deep and good is so hard when you get into adulthood, especially into your 30s like I am. By now, you know that things don't come easy anymore, that anything worth having is work. I love my girls, but they are work. I love my husband, but our marriage is work. I love my job, but well, work is work. When so much of your time is sliced and diced, it can feel so daunting to reach out and try to coordinate one new thing, to try hard to make all the logistics align, even if what you're trying to align them for is so good for your soul. And it feels like a miracle when someone not only has the capacity, but the desire to toss us a life preserver that takes us out of going through life alone and into a new friendship and into a new community. Friends, when that life preserver comes to you, let me offer you some advice. You snatch a hold of it as quickly as you can. And that's exactly what I did that day. And honestly, it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my adult life because now I belong to one of the most life-giving communities I've ever had in my life, our little book club. We call ourselves the Book Club Babes, and we meet once a month. The person who picks the book for the month always hosts, so that's easy to coordinate. And we started out as a group of 4, and now we're at 7. Most of the time when we meet, we'll spend maybe like 1 hour talking about the book and 5 hours talking about everything else going on in our lives. What's good, what's hard, what makes us mad or sad or joyful. It's so ordinary and so wonderful. I wouldn't have it any other way. We're roughly the same age. We're all married with kids, so we can relate to so much of what we're all going through. And lucky for us, we all enjoy the same kinds of books too. Books we've read recently and loved are Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, Paris Apartment. Oh, we love Lucy Foley. We also loved her Guest House. Wait, is it Guest House or Guest List? Guest List, that's it. We've recently read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. We were hooked on the plot twist that happens like halfway through that book. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. Oh, that was one that I picked and I hosted for that one. And of course, Colleen Hoover. We're all hooked like the rest of the world. The books bring us together. Absolutely. We all love a good story. But what we gain when we talk about them together, when they give us a reason to gather, that's the magic of book club. And I want that magic for you too. The first time our book club got together and had dinner, I remember how it felt. It just clicked. I know it doesn't happen like that for everyone, but it did for us. And I sat here wondering, why did it work? And I have a few theories. I'm going to share some of them with you, things that I think you'll be able to take and apply to your own book club or when you create one of your own. Number one, find the people. This might feel like the hardest part of book club, and you're probably right. Finding the right alchemy of people is kind of tricky, but I've got a few things you could try. Start thinking about the people you're close to. Is there anyone in your circle you'd like to talk to about books or just to get to know better in general? Your BFF, your sister-in-law, your best mom friend at your kid's school? Now, let's make that circle wider. Think about people you work with or the people at your church or some of the parents at school who you don't know very well. Is there someone you see on a regular basis who kind of has a vibe that you dig? Maybe someone you don't talk to much, but when you do hear her speak, you enjoy what she says. Does she sound like the kind of person who thinks about what she says or reads interesting articles or watches interesting shows that you enjoyed too? She might be a good fit for your club. And don't be afraid to ask people. Remember how this episode started? I probably would not be in this group if my friend didn't have the courage to reach out to me. So if you want to start a book club yourself, just take a deep breath and ask. The worst thing she could say is no. But I bet she'll be flattered for you to ask, and she'll say yes. Trust me. Number two, read whatever you want. This isn't just for book nerds. You do not have to read super highbrow literature. You don't have to read anything you don't want to. You could read poetry. You could read a self-help book. You could read one chapter of a book at a time. You could even offer up an article or a Substack or a small piece of writing you thought was fascinating. There are no rules. You get to make them up as you go. Number three, automate the times you meet. This is magic, you guys, because knowing you're going to meet with your book club every fourth Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. takes the pressure off of anyone to try to coordinate this. It's already built into the schedule. There's nobody starting a timid group chat of, hey, everybody who wants to talk about the book. You can also automate where you meet. Maybe you meet at the same friend's house each time. Maybe you draw out of a hat. Maybe you decide to rotate based on the order of your birthdays in the calendar year. For us, we meet at the house of whoever picked the book. Whatever system works for you, just do it. Which brings me to my next point. Number four, allow yourself to make this easy. Listen, you do not need one more hard thing in your life. You do not have time for that. But do you have time for easy? You probably do. Repeat after me. Your book club does not have to be fancy. The books don't have to be fancy. The food doesn't have to be fancy. Your house does not need to be fancy. None of it. All people want are some good drinks, some good snacks, some good vibes. That's it. And it can all be accomplished by a quick visit to the deli section of your grocery store and putting on a good playlist. Hint, John Mayer always helps. The Simplified podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. One of the best things about getting older is understanding yourself a bit more, because when you know yourself, you trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you can walk through the world with a lot more peace. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. Therapy is helpful when you're in a crisis, but it's great to have in the normal times too. It's so helpful to have a sounding board who can show you a new way to process your feelings or find a different way to move through life. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, super flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/simplified today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/simplified.
Listen, if anybody is out here trying to help me save money, I am here for it. So when Emily told me about how Rocket Money helped her save literally $672 on her phone bill this year, I knew I had to try it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money will quickly and easily find your subscriptions for you. And for any you don't want to pay for it anymore, just hit cancel and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. That is the level of easy that I need in my life right now. So when I downloaded Rocket Money, I may have gone a little cancel crazy, but I don't even care. That wine subscription we had, goodbye. That language learning app, see you later. And just like that, we saved $800 this year. So stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/simplified. That is rocketmoney.com/simplified. rocketmoney.com/simplified. After knowing my mom for 30 years, you would think that I know all of my mom's stories by now, but that is not true. Just the other day, I learned who her 5th grade crush was, and that his name was Steve, and he had really great hair. My mom is so special to me, and I want to make Mother's Day special for her this year. That's why I'm giving her a gift to make her feel special and loved, the gift of Storyworth. Storyworth is an online service that helps you and your loved ones connect through sharing stories and memories, and preserves them for years to come. Every week, Storyworth emails your loved one a thought-provoking question like, what's some of the best advice your mom gave you? Or, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? After 1 year, Storyworth compiles all those questions and stories, including photos, into a beautiful keepsake book the whole family can share for generations. That's why I'm so excited to give Storyworth to my mom, so that we can have another way to share her memories with my son Bennett. He'll be celebrating his first Mother's Day with his grandma this year. Talk about special, something we've waited for a very long time. So give all the moms in your life a unique, heartfelt gift you'll all cherish for years. Storyworth. Right now, for a limited time, you'll save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/simplified. That's STORYWORTH.com/simplified to save $10 on your first purchase. Storyworth.com/simplified.
So I'm about to drop a bomb and you're just going to have to sit here and chew on it because I have made my peace with the Lord about it. You do not have to read the whole book. I said it. I said what I said, and I'll say it again. You do not have to read the whole book. That may be a cardinal sin in your club, but in mine, we get that life is busy. Things are going to get in the way of finishing a book that nobody is grading. Heck, I'll get in my own way sometimes because if I try to put myself to bed and crack open my book, I'll usually get about 2 pages in and I'm asleep. Welcome to your 30s. My rule of thumb, just come prepared to ask one big question or talk about one particular thing that makes you feel something big. That's all you really need. I bet the other girls in your club will totally be able to relate both to the topic you chose to talk about and that you didn't quite finish the book this month. I guarantee you're not the only one. After all, number 5, come to book club to listen to topics about the book and everything else. This is my favorite one that we're going to talk about today. We all know that book club is really not about the books. You could have an underwater basket weaving club and you still would have the same sort of group because the magic of book club happens away from the page. It's those conversations that maybe start out about the book, but meander into the story of something similar that happened to you when you were a kid, or how you never realized how much your mom sacrificed for you day in and day out, kind of like the character you're reading about and the kinds of parenting you're doing now with your kids. Maybe a character says, screw it, and goes on an eat, pray, love adventure that you wish you could go on, or one that reminds you of studying abroad in your college years. Maybe someone's sibling in your group struggles with a similar addiction to one that a beloved character is dealing with in your story, and she hasn't felt like she's had a safe space to talk about it. Maybe someone is just going through it and there's nothing on the page that triggers it. She just needs a soft place to land for a while. Cheese always helps with that too. Book club is just the vehicle. The rich friendship is the reward of showing up in the same place with the same people for a while. That's the key to anything, isn't it? Just show up. Show up with your whole messy self. You may have not read the book. You may only have the budget this month for some crackers and cheese for your snacks. You may be petrified to try a new thing with some women you've never met because you hope so badly that you won't be rejected again. I get it. Trying something new, even if you feel like the stakes are low, can be really scary. It may feel like you don't have much to offer either, but I promise just your presence will do. Your engaged interest in other people will speak more than reading the book and having 1,000 things to say about it. Just show up and listen. Listen and offer your own vulnerable heart. That's all we have really, at the end of the day anyway. All right, you guys, I'd like to say a little blessing over you as we leave this time together and get back to our days. Wherever you are and whatever your season, I hope you have people in your life who are definitely and without a doubt your people. I hope you enjoy the same stories and humor and feel comfortable enough to share what's on your heart. I hope you feel the pure joy of being known by someone else. I hope they know your embarrassing childhood stories and the heart-skipping way you met your husband. I hope you know the warm peace that comes with being accepted as you are today, not how you're supposed to be when your mask of trying is on so tight. You are worthy of love and friendship, of knowing and belonging right now, just as you are. This is the part of the episode where we usually give you a little tip you can tuck in your pocket and take with you. So here's what I've got for you today. Are you stuck on a title to suggest for your next book club pick? Maybe you could work smarter, not harder, and choose one that was a hit with another book club. Think about book clubs that are curated by big morning shows like the Today Show's Read with Jenna book club. Listen, I don't know who curates that list, but it's mostly fiction, and every book is usually at least a 4 out of 5 for me. Usually pretty upbeat women's fiction, though that deviates sometimes. You could also try Reese's Book Club, or Mindy Kaling, or Jen Hatmaker's. Basically, you're letting someone do the hard work of curating good books for you that will probably appeal to a wide group of people and start a discussion. That's what you want anyway. Thank you for listening to the Simplified podcast. You can find the show notes for this episode at emilylay.com/podcast, where you can check out links and resources I mentioned here, and you can shop the Simplified brand of planners and products. You can follow me on Instagram at Laura Kashner and follow our brand at Simplified for tons of simplicity tips and inspiration to get you through the day. Plus, go check out our brand new spring collection over at emilylay.com. And hey, if you want these kinds of great conversations in your life every week, then you should go follow our show. It'll just show up right on your phone. Talk about automated. All right, you guys, that's all I've got for you today. Be sure to come back next week for another great episode. Spoiler alert, it may involve something about the royals and fashion, 2 of my favorite things. You'll just have to come back next week and see what I'm talking about. Until then, I hope you have a great week. Bye, friends.